Hi, welcome to this video. On April 22nd at 7:26 p.m. Pacific time, there is a new moon in Taurus happening, and this new moon is conjunct Uranus and squaring off to Saturn and Aquarius. So, as you guys probably know, this is a time of great change, and the structures that we've been accustomed to are now breaking down. Whenever Uranus or Aquarius is involved, the breaking down of structures is meant to make way for new life to come from it. And because this conjunction is in Taurus, it's all about the earth, really. Like, Taurus to me is the most earth-bound earth sign that I actually kind of think of. So, usually Venus rules Taurus, but I really think that another co-ruler could be like the mythological Atlas. I think of Taurus as being very Atlas-like, where they're, kind of carrying the world on their shoulders, and they kind of take on a lot from people typically, and are, they're considered very dependable. And so I kind of think of Taurus as being that kind of symbolism and being very associated with the earth. And this is just something I've thought of on my own. It's not something that's been corroborated by anybody else or anything like that, but I think of it this way. And so with this Taurus, stellium on the new moon, this is the time for bringing new ideas into fruition and being very innovative when it comes to recreating new structures. And when it comes to what Taurus is all about, it is all about money and about the physical world, the material world. So with Uranus being there, it is about innovating those areas and making them more equitable for people. So distributing money, for instance, more evenly amongst people. So if you think about like a lot of what Uranus and Taurus has brought up, and universal basic income has come to the forefront of this time, like super noticeable Uranus and Taurus theme. And then with Saturn and Aquarius happening, I definitely did not expect things to be so dramatic, but it's also Jupiter in Capricorn is a part of this as well. So at first I thought Jupiter in Capricorn was going to be more uplifting and things like that. And I think it does have that potential to bring an upliftment to the areas of corruption and power, the systems of power. It does have that potential to kind of, what it's going to do though, is it's going to expose the problem like exponentially, because that's what Jupiter does, is it brings expansion and awareness and this like exacerbation of wherever it is. So that's what's going on right now with Jupiter conjunct Pluto, is like this exacerbation of corruption being shown in our world. And it's like right there in your face, it's like unavoidable with Jupiter. And in terms of other themes that I've been thinking about with Jupiter conjunct Pluto, I know I was going to start talking about Saturn and then I kind of got sidetracked by Jupiter, but Jupiter conjunct Pluto to me also reminds me of like the hero's journey, because Jupiter is all about pilgrimages and really like exploration and learning through experience. And I keep thinking of like the Odyssey as an archetype for this Jupiter conjunct Pluto thing. Like first, Jupiter, starts going, into that vicinity, and at first it's kind of more like the fool archetype, innocent to the eyes of the world, innocent to the, to the whatever, And so then, as it conjuncts Pluto, it's like, whoa, this is what we're learning. And then when it comes out the other side, that's when I think it's going to be like more uplifting, and also new belief systems being created. I think that could happen. I think that it also exposed a lot of stuff, a lot of darkness around more religious figures and people that are considered religious authorities. So that also happened for sure. And like now it's like, okay, what are our new, what's the new belief systems that are coming out of this? Because I think that this kind of stuff's already kind of happened, and now we're moving into, what's new that's coming forward for us? What's our new story that we're telling ourselves? Because I think of it as being like, your beliefs are the kind of the stories you tell yourself, and what it is that you see yourself as a result of the stories that you hold on to or resonate with. And so I think this is a time for new stories to come forward. And with Saturn and Aquarius, okay, because I kind of keep thinking about Jupiter conjunct Pluto and Capricorn, because Saturn rules Capricorn, and now Saturn's in Aquarius, and then, Uranus rules Aquarius. So there's kind of this whole thing happening, especially, the systems and structures have already been being exposed for the crap that they've done wrong. And now it's like they have to break down those systems, those authority figures, those old ways of doing things that are not efficient, that have been causing damage to the planet. And that's where the square comes in too. The things that have been causing damage to the planet need to break down, because we need to create new systems that are actually beneficial to the planet, or at the very least, not harmful. So this is where the new ideas have to come forward, the new innovative plans, new innovative actions being taken, so that we move away from the old structures, because this is an opportunity to move away from those things and create something new and have it be something sustainable, healthy, and preferably enlightening in some way. So yeah, in terms of, multiple layers to that one, you know what I mean? Like there's, whether we're talking about energy, whether we're talking about the belief systems, whether we're talking about the authority figures, it all needs to kind of become more lighter, enlightened, aware of what it's doing, and not damaging or harmful to people or the planet or animals. So yeah, that's kind of what I've been wanting to talk about with that. And Mars is trine Venus. Mars in Aquarius is trine Venus in Gemini. And that's been happening for a little bit here. But with Mars trine Venus, this is like where we can find more balance between our masculine and feminine energies. So this is when we can really become more receptive to people, and also be like a good give and take in situations, and especially in conversations. And this is a good time to actually connect through the internet, or in group situations through the internet, kind of thing, because obviously right now we're being restricted from groups. But this is a good time to communicate with people who are of like mind and discussing new ideas, discussing new possibilities, creating more harmony. And in terms of relationships, this should be very harmonious. Communication lines will be more open, more philosophical discussions could be had, and interesting new ideas could come forward, and more creativity in terms of like thinking about things and coming up with new ideas and like innovative change and just like kind of like thinking outside the box, and waves of inspiration should be reaching us at this time. And yeah, this new moon is also sextile the North Node. And I do find it to be very interesting that the North Node is in Cancer, because earlier on, before this all happened, what I was kind of saying is, right now there's been a lot of focus on the outer world with the South Node in Capricorn, and there was a lot of Capricorn planets at one point. So like, it was just like, whoa, a lot of focus on the outer world. And then the North Node in Cancer was over here just being like, hey, don't forget to go within and focus on your family, on your emotional life, on your inner world. And now it's like, okay, we have to listen to that North Node at this point. We're being pretty much, forced to be at home and to focus on our inner world more and focus on our home and family life. So I find that to be funny. And then, with it sextile that Uranus and the new moon sextile the North Node, I find this to be just the perfect time to do research and stuff into like the new ideas that you have, into more new age potentially ideas, technological ideas, scientific ideas, and really like doing more of like looking outside of your usual kind of thought processes, listening to new information and finding out new possibilities in terms of we have this opportunity to kind of bring forward something new or find out something new. And so this is a good time for looking into new thought processes and looking into like new groups, new ideas on the internet, or new information about subjects that you already know. And also like focusing in on your emotional health, and maybe even doing some self-help kind of stuff, or new agey self-help kind of stuff, things that allow you to kind of connect inward into your soul, into your individual beingness. And it could allow for like some kind of inspiration or insight to come forward that is somewhat unexpected, or somehow can kind of shake things up for you so that it kind of breaks free of old patterns and allows for kind of more connection in terms of yourself and your higher self, and allowing for these kinds of like new ideas to come to you from more within rather than just looking outside as well. So like kind of finding that balance between looking out there, finding new information, and then like kind of allowing yourself to integrate that information, or allowing yourself to connect more directly to your higher information that's available to you just by going within and meditating and listening to your inner voice, your inner feelings, and allowing yourself to kind of like reach a new insight through that method as well. So I don't know, it could be a balance between those things. And Mercury is about to trine Pluto, so it's at 20 degrees of Aries, and Pluto and Jupiter are at 24 and 26 degrees of Capricorn. Oh, no, they're squaring almost. Sorry, I thought I was trining for a second. But yeah, they're almost squaring that. So, you know, as Mercury moves along here into Aries, it'll be a closer square. But on the new moon, it's at 20 degrees. So this is definitely going to bring up some hidden information and hidden information, especially like something like doing research into something around like religion or beliefs or philosophy, something where you could do an intense deep study. You could reveal some new information to yourself, or some information will be revealed publicly potentially as well. And this could create some cognitive tensions within yourself. So maybe you learn something new that kind of goes against something you originally believed to be true. And now this new piece of information could be kind of at odds with your original belief. And so like, it'll be kind of a time to integrate this new idea and allow for transformation to occur so that you actually have a broader perspective of whatever it is you're doing research into. So that is quite possible. And then let's see. It looks like Venus will be squaring Neptune relatively soon as well. I mean, it's 4 degrees from squaring, so the exact will be a few days after this. But Venus square Neptune, Venus in Gemini. So as the communication lines open with your partner, there could be subconscious or unconscious feelings that need to come up to the surface to be communicated. And so dreams or just unconscious feelings could need to be discussed. So like maybe you'll have a dream that kind of brings up some emotions like that you, or like, you know, you might feel a little emotional or something. And so, you know, talking about those things could help clear the air of those feelings. And so like, you know, tensions could be brought up around these things. So it's a good time to bring those things up, communicate those things clearly, and allow for them to dissipate so that you can kind of move on with your life after that. So yeah. And then let's see. Yeah, it looks like that's pretty much all the aspects. I'm just looking at it and kind of talking about it as I look at it. So, all right, well, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share. I appreciate it. Have an awesome time.